Welcome to Battle Truth and my point of view. I don't know you, so I'm not a hater. I could only give you the facts that's written on these papers. And since we have no dealings, therefore the court can care less about your feelings. I'm the Honorable MallikiBaker, your presiding judge, chairman and spokesperson for the One United Front. You are my witnesses and jury. You may be seated. Court is now in session. Let's talk about it. Could you make me some coffee and hand me those files on Rajon Cox? Yeah, appreciate it. No, just one cream. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. So going to these documentations. So it appears to be the topic in the battle rap community as a result of allegations of Surf being a snitch, one of the popular dudes in battle rap who have a heavy influence over men and women. So apparently some people is in denial of the fact that he's a snitch or a rat, and that there are those who know it but still out of relation with him support it. So at Battle Truth, we're going to get to the bottom of things. We're going to tell the truth. So people have been saying, according to the documentation, that Surf is not a snitch because he didn't drop names, and that he only took accountability for his own actions, and that also the co-defendants were all in agreement together and accepting these plea deals that they all ended up taking. Okay, so we need to get to the bottom of this and see what's really going on. So we have documentations of co-conspirators, and in the documentations, this is going to actually cut out a lot of these lies. This is part 2 of Surf Snitched. There's no way you're going to be able to get around these type of things. He wanted to be a gangster and a thug, and then when it came to him having to stand up and be accountable for his actions, he rolled over and turned on everybody. It don't matter if it's saying, oh, we got a co-defendant that said, hey, he didn't tell. We all agreed to this. That ain't what the paperwork say. You supposed to say stuff like that now when you need aid and support and some damn commissary and a phone call. You could easily say that now, but that wasn't the case when you were fighting y'all cases while he already accepted his plea deal and was given his short time. That left y'all to have to be forced to take plea deals as a result of his testimony being used against y'all, that we finna clearly prove that nobody can get around. He wanted to sell guns and drugs in the hood. Thought he was cute cause he had girls on his wood. Then the cop came in to get them. He told them boys in change for his life. Don't matter if you lie for him, it's all right here in black and white. Don't matter if you lie for him, it's all right here in black and white. This easy. This is light work. This is a layup. Proving that he is snitch, according to the documentations and indictment, this is easy to do. This is easy to do. Let me show y'all how easy this is. Now, what y'all looking at right here is one of his co-defendants named Mr. Warden, who actually was on phone calls with Surf that the feds intercepted, of them not only making deals, but setting up even more operations within the New Jersey territories to further their operations for the gang, by which Surf already agreed and testified to that was them. We're going to prove this. So when they say he didn't drop names, okay, we're going to prove that. When it says that, all the co-defendants agreed, we're going to prove that's a lie. There's no way to get around this paperwork. Now, what you finna see is this brother literally arguing. Look at what it says here up the top. The government has failed to properly allege Warden's involvement in a RICO conspiracy. So this guy, Mr. Warden, who's an associate of Cox, Sue Surf, who's also dealing under the same charge Surf was dealing with. See, when they were saying, did you do this, Surf, 40 grams to 60? And, did you do this with members and things like that? And he said, yes. All you have to do is go to the other members that's charged with this exact same charge that he has, that he was actually testifying about in his plea, that implements them while they're still fighting. Because remember, he's the first one to take the plea, which means his statements, like I've been telling you, dumbass people, his statements would be used against them. We finna prove that. And they actually bring it up. Now remember, at this time, Surf has already pleaded guilty. He already got his time. So here's a person who's still fighting. And this person's argument is that I had nothing to do with them. I'm not a Crip. I'm not involved with the organization in no type of way. Watch how they tie turf testimony, plea into this man charge that actually had this thrown out, that they arguing to have his case. They're arguing to have his case thrown out. I'm sorry. His lawyers arguing to have his case thrown out because they haven't proved that. But what the state is going to do is actually prove it using Surf statements and throw out their motion. So their motion was thrown out to have him continue to have to stand trial unless he accept a plea deal. Watch this, y'all. Can't get around stuff like this. I don't give a damn what none of them say. Not a Geechee nor a Whack 100, whoever said he didn't snitch. Watch this. People terrible. No, damn well this man snitched, but this easy work. You ain't gonna get around his paperwork. Watch this.
Asking the courts to dismiss his indictment based on claims that the government had not properly alleged any racketeering activity on his behalf, specifically stating that the government had not identified a single ongoing criminal enterprise with respects to him. Rather, they had only alleged several unrelated acts and had not provided any direct connection between his criminal activity and the enterprise. There was no connection, according to him, showing that he committed crimes in furtherance of the gang. So,
okay, remember, it's very important. This is Mr. Warden's argument, a lawyer arguing on his behalf that he had no association with this. They can't prove he associated with the Rolling 60s in any type of way. So this is his lawyer making his argument for him and wanting his case thrown out as a result of being in any ties with the Rolling 60s organization. So this is his lawyer's argument. So pay attention to his lawyer's argument, arguing that, no, my client had nothing to do with this. He's not a Rolling 60s. You know what I mean? And then watch how the state come back in their argument.
it didn't seem that he was disputing the marijuana enterprise, but he was disputing the fact that he sold marijuana in furtherance of the gang. Basically saying, hey, y'all got me with the weed, it's mine. I don't know nothing about no gang stuff. I don't know nothing about doing nothing in furtherance of the gang.
Remember, Surf testified that all his crimes was done in furtherance of the gang. Then that's how come when people were trying to say that, oh, Surf only took accountability for his own actions. No, he didn't, because he's taken a plea. And in his plea, what he is saying that everything he did was in furtherance for the gang by which they are indicted under a RICO criminal enterprise. So there's no way possible, in no type of way, can y'all say Surf was taking accountability for his own actions, because his testimony says all his actions were in further of the gang. So there is no just me doing this. All of this is done as a result of the gang. This is what I do. This is what we're told to do. And everything I did was for the gang by which they were indicted. So that rules out all you dumbasses trying to say that Surf just took accountability for his own actions. No, because the testimony says all his actions were done in furtherance of the gang. So that's not self-accountability. That's actually plural accountability by which they all are involved in furtherance of the gang being successful. So that destroy y'all. That destroy every last one of you jackasses who ever said that Surf was only taking accountability for his own actions. Now watch more. Oh yeah, this is easy to do. This is a layup.
These were not gang orders. None of this drug sale stuff is related to gang banging. Specifically stating here, the government has not alleged any hierarchy in the Rolling 60s or how the acts of Mr. Warden, which have no interrelationship with that organization, are RICO predicate acts. Although the proof used to establish the existence of an enterprise and a pattern of racketeering may in particular cases coalesce, proof of a pattern of racketeering activity does not necessarily establish the existence of an enterprise. The government has not sufficiently pled that Mr. Warden was employed by or associated with the enterprise, that he participated in either directly or indirectly in the conduct or the affairs of the enterprise, or that he participated through a pattern of racketeering activity. Accordingly, the indictment against him should be dismissed.
Very important. Very, very important right there, what y'all just saw. That, look what his lawyer just argued. And Surf's statement gonna kill all this that the government is going to use. Look what it says here. So his lawyer says, okay, Mr. Warden have no interrelationship with the organization. See, so he want to separate himself from the Rolling 60s in any type of way to get this RICO thrown out against him, right? Organization are RICO predicate acts, right? This is his lawyer argument. Although the proof used to establish the existence of an enterprise and a pattern of racketeering may in particular case show his proof of the pattern of his racketeering activity, it does not necessarily establish the existence of the enterprise. Watch this. His lawyer in conclusion says this: the government has not sufficiently pled with Mr. Warden's plead with Mr. Warden was employed by and associated with the enterprise. So they haven't proved he had any association with the enterprise. Neither was he employed by the enterprise. Anytime you see enterprise, that means Rolling 60s and this indictment. That he participated in, either indirectly or either directly or indirectly, in the conduct or the affairs of the enterprise or Rolling 60s, or that he participated through a pattern of racketeering activity. Accordingly, the indictment against him should be dismissed. That's his lawyer's argument. He had no affiliation directly or indirectly. There's no proof tying him into these acts that happened and things like that. No association with the enterprise at all. Now, watch the state argument against him. Watch what they say.
Long story short, even though many fans and people who claim to be close to the situation argue that Surf and all of his homies had agreed to plead out and they were going to just accept responsibility for this situation, this guy was still trying to fight. This guy was still saying, hey, I might have had some weed, but it's got nothing to do with no Rolling 60s or no racketeering or RICO. And he was still having his lawyer press that issue. Now, the government will have a chance to respond to this motion, and this is what they had to say. They would start by once again laying out what they believe is the history of the gang and how it migrated from California to New Jersey, establishing a connection between California and New Jersey, strictly for the purpose of establishing the fact that these guys are real members. They are actually connected to California. Now, because this guy is accused of being in charge of the drug activity, they would then direct their attention to the enterprise's involvement in drug distribution. And they would state that enterprise members and associates engaged in or controlled drug trafficking and other criminal activities in various neighborhoods and public housing complexes and as part of the conspiracy. Enterprise members and associates enriched themselves through drug trafficking. For example, because the enterprise controlled certain areas where drugs were sold, members involved in drug distribution, such as Warden, benefited from their association with the enterprise. Warden has worked with enterprise members and associates to distribute controlled substances. Multiple examples of Warden's involvement in drug activity, which constitute predicate acts in furtherance of the enterprise, are detailed in the indictment. For example, as detailed in Overt Act WW, on or about October 6, 2020, Warden and Cox.
Remember, Cox is Rajon Cox, or Rajon Cox is no other than Sue Surf. Remember the guy's argument. I have no dealing with the organization and none of this, and I'm not a Crip and none of this. Watch how they use Surf stuff to destroy his whole claim to have his case thrown out. I mean, not his case thrown out, but have his motion thrown out, by which he still had to stand trial for his involvement in the organization, which actually led to him having to take a plea deal.
Discussed a plan to sell marijuana with other enterprise associates, as well as a plan to sell t-shirts that appeared to be related to the enterprise. During this conversation, Cox referred to Warden by his alias, Killer. Further, an enterprise associate stated, well, now that we got this weed all over the place as a unit, let's get all this shit off. And later again, we pretty much have every hood in Newark covered. Each hood should be copping our weed some way, somehow.
Okay, look what they're proving. This is all recorded. They have the recorded record of Surf and this dude Warden, who was just saying he had no affiliation. This is their conversation that the government have recorded. That Surf was calling him Killer. That's his street name. And here he is talking about how they selling weed together as a unity, and that they gonna set up shop everywhere, and they basically got it going on.
So basically, as soon as this guy attempted to deny the allegations against him, as soon as he tried to have his lawyer put in a motion to dismiss and say, hey, I ain't do none of that stuff. The stuff that y'all saying y'all got don't connect me to nothing. Those conversations probably wasn't even me. You know, he if he's denying this, then he has to be denying that that's him partaking in the conversation, which is the right thing to do. Make them do their job. Make them go get an IP address. Make them go find out what device the messages came from. Don't just go in here and say, yeah, oh, you got me. You know, but as soon as he attempted to do that, they referred to his conversation with Surf. And as we know, Surf had already gone in front of the judge and said this. From 2015 to on or around September 22nd, 2022, Mr. Cox, were you a member of the Rolling 60s? Yes, ma'am. And did the Rolling 60s operate in the District of New Jersey? Yes, ma'am. Additionally, during the previous mentioned time, did you knowingly and intentionally conspire with other members and associates of the enterprise to distribute and possess with intent to distribute at least 40 but less than 60 kilograms of marijuana?
Okay, now remember, this guy have the same charge under this marijuana as Surf do. They just played the conversation of him and Surf on the phone, conspiring, setting up shop, and getting it flooded throughout the New Jersey territory and areas. His Surf, before that motion, literally agreeing to, that's me, that's what we did. Because when you see what it says, did you knowingly and intentionally conspire with other members and associates? Because they know they got other people to actually try on this same account. So Surf plea literally convicts them, by which the testimony will now be used against them, like we just saw. Like we just saw. Watch this though.
Across state lines. Yes, ma'am. So basically, he was left no out by Sue Surf. By Surf going in and admitting to everything, and this person being directly involved in those conversations and charged with crimes related to those conversations, Surf incriminated him. And while he was attempting to get out of the situation, they were throwing back in his face, yeah, we got these conversations with you and Mr. Cox. And yeah, Mr. Cox has already came in, raised his right hand, sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and told us that everything that we think happened in those messages actually happened. He's already pled guilty. He got his 50 months, and he's on up the road.
No way to get around that. That's black and white documentation. You can't get around that. So I don't give a damn who they trying to say. Like, guess what? Surf co-defendants said they all agreed. That ain't what that paperwork said. That man didn't agree. That man was still trying to fight to have any type of disassociation with Surf them as he could, so he wouldn't be found guilty under the RICO. Not knowing that Surf already agreed. Yeah, that's everything they had on Surf. Surf agreed. Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's me on the phone calls. That's me distributing the weed. That is me with him on the phone calls. Yes. Can't get around that. Name, accountability as a result of the mob, and that they all didn't agree. Stop with these damn lies. And I know damn well them Los Angeles rolling 60s ain't agreeing. You can say what you want. I guarantee you, Los Angeles rolling 60s who know this, hear this, know this paperwork, they going to say he snitched and told on us. Because here's the thing y'all don't get. When they ask Surf if the rolling 60s a gang, that's speaking in exclusive to all of them. That's just like, again, I used to be a GD. I used to be a gangster disciple before God came and changed my life and opened my eye to the knowledge of truth, right? In that knowledge, I left it. And I knew that the only true leader, the only true God is to be worshipped in him alone and nobody else. So I left that trash alone, right? But I know for a fact, if a member was to have a plea, make a plea, and he's making his plea as a representative and leader, and they ask him, is the gangster disciples a gang? And he says yes. He's speaking as a representative exclusively for the whole gang or the whole organization that is called Gangster Disciples. He just told that the Gangster Disciples are a gang by which the RICO is set up to take down gangs and criminal organizations. That's why in the YSL trial, Young Thug them was salty at Gunna for actually going on record saying that they wasn't a record label, but they were a gang. And the admission of it being said a gang was actually substantiating the RICO by which they were indicted under. But here's the thing about the Surf situation. So they have the records of Surf and Mr. Warden on the phone, the guy who got his lawyer trying to get this stuff thrown out. And while he making the argument like, y'all have no proof, the government haven't proven any of this, they like, oh, yes, we did. We got you and Cox on a telephone call, organizing and setting up the distribution of marijuana all over New Jersey. Surf already agreed to this conversation. He took his time. He agreed to it. So, yeah, we do have you dead to the wrong. We have y'all exact conversation, and we have the guy who was on the phone with you agreeing to this situation. So guess what? We do have you under the RICO. We do have you guilty of the acts and crime to further the organization. So none of y'all actions was y'all own, because that's what dude was trying to do. He was trying to take accountability for his own actions, but you can't, because according to Surf, y'all actions were all in furtherance of the gang. No such thing as your own actions. I did this by myself. This had nothing to do with nobody else. Because y'all actions are under the furtherance of the gang. That's why they're using structure. And that's why they're using these terms in the documentations to prove that none of y'all have y'all own individual actions. Y'all acted as a whole, whether it was murder, whether it was selling drugs, whether it was extortion, whether it was gambling. Y'all act as a whole to further the gain, success. No such thing as having your own. So the moment you made an agreement and plea and say, yes, I did that. But remember, his plea is, I did this in furtherance of the game. So once he take that accountability, what he's saying is the gang did this. That's what that means when it said, did you do this in furtherance of the gang? And when he said, yes, ma'am, he's blaming the Rolling 60s for his actions by which he did these crimes in furtherance of it. Dumbass people, just terrible. But there we have it. You don't get around that. Let me guess. That still ain't snitching. That still ain't true. They use his statements against him. You think when they say, okay, we got him and Cox on the phone talking. Cox already agreed that this is true. He took his time. He gone. That's you. We already know that's you. Cox agreed. He agreed to the weed and all the involvement of it. He agreed to it. That was you. They threw out the man's motion. So don't give me this, oh, his co-defendants all agreed. That ain't what that paperwork say. The paperwork don't say they all agreed. We ain't finna play these games. That's a damn lie. It's a lie. Ain't no way you can get around that. No way. Nobody could help you. Nobody could save you. They could lie all they want. They can't get around the paperwork. That's see this easy. Anybody got common sense? This easy to break this down. This is simple and easy. Can't get around that. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. What you gonna say about this? 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 It's too much. You'll be you're a dumb fool trying to argue this. But again, let it been anybody else other than Surf in the battle rap community. Let it just been a regular person. This would be clear. It'll be unanimously 100% he snitched and told. But it don't matter. Guess what? K can't get around the truth. So we just saw all the co-defendants wasn't in agreement with making a cop-out and plea deal. I don't care what they trying to say now, since they all got their time. But let's just be honest. What we know. Surf didn't commit his own actions. He couldn't take accountability for his own actions, dumbasses. Because according to him, all his actions are in furtherance to the gang. So everything he did falls on the gang, not himself. That's why it's established in the RICO, by which he pleaded guilty to. He gave them everything they needed. He gave them 2 crimes that he did in furtherance of the gang that shows everybody under the RICO guilty. And he's speaking as a leader. Get out of here. Can't brainwash me. And then you just had the dude, Mr. Warden, trying to disassociate himself from Surf them, from the Rolling 60s. And they come back and use Surf phone records against him in Surf's statement, by which he already gave in previous testimony, admitting that it was true. Yeah, throw out his motion. you still got to go to trial, or you're going to take this plea we asking you. Can't get around that. Surf buried that man. They used Surf and his phone records and Surf agreement to what he said was true, and it buried that man's whole claim to get his case throughout. Like I showed you on the paperwork, that a person's testimony of a plea can be used against other members. Let me show that again. Some people up here playing games and act like they don't know the damn truth. Now, pay attention to this. When you Google, can plea deals be used as evidence against others? Look what it says right here, right? So it says against co-defendants. Plea deals can be used. Statements made in plea negotiations or the existence of a plea arrangement can be used against a co-defendant, especially if the defendant agrees to testify as part of the deal. See that? It could be used either way. He could take the stand and personally testify, or he could make statements that could be used against them. It could be done in two ways. Look at the other one down here. Cooperation agreements. A plea deal might include an agreement to cooperate and testify against other defendants. The testimony itself is used as evidence in court. See that? The testimony itself is considered evidence. Whether or not he take the stand against them personally or not, the testimony itself is used as evidence in the court. See that? See that? We're not going to play no games. Judgment will go as follows. I find Surf guilty of snitching under the code and jury of being judged in the court of public opinions. I find him guilty according to the evidence rendered by which we just went through, that we have him committing acts and furtherance of the gang. In other words, there is no way he can take his own. I want y'all to hear this clear, how these people trying to lie. When he agrees to the things he did, there is no way that he can take singular ability of his actions when he's pleading on the regards of all his actions are done in furtherance of the gang. So no such thing as them trying to say, no, he committed these acts and he only told what he did. He's pleading guilty to his actions in furtherance of the gang. So everything he does is against rolling 60s by which he did these acts. Now, for the rolling 60s, that's what that means. So all these acts he did for the rolling 60s in furtherance of the gang. No such thing as self-accountability. So every time he did something against the law, criminal, and he said, I did that, that's against the rolling 60s. That's what that means. So cut that lie out. Not mentioning names. Oh, he didn't drop no names. They have the phone conversation with him, aka Killer, who is no other than Mr. Warden, that the feds have, that he said wasn't him, that Surf already agreed to it being him, by which they used it against him to get his motion thrown out prior to Surf already taking the plea, admitting to the actions of it, because that's the same thing he had. The distribution or transfer of marijuana across state lines. Surf agreed and pled guilty to that. In the phone conversations, all of that, with him on the other line, partnering with him and doing it. Surf agreed that me and the other members did this. That's him. He got the same charge of it. That's him. Surf statement was used against him. Got his motion through out. Now, with that being said, that killed them. With them trying to say that, oh, they all came together and all agreed that they were going to take a plea. Not this guy. He still was fighting his. And actually was saying, I have no association with Surf now. They like, oh, you don't? Well, let me play the phone record for you of you and Surf now, who agreed to be a rolling 60 gang leader. And all his criminal activity he did was for the gang that he was told to do in furtherance of it. Like, damn, man, they got, yeah, that's you. That's you on the phone. Surf already agreed to it. Your lawyer didn't know that? Your lawyer didn't tell you that, boo-boo? Okay, well, guess what? We got you. Why you think Surf has 6, think about this, y'all. Use y'all damn common sense. Surf has 6 felonies. RICO was one of them. They dropped 4 of the current RICO charges on him and only gave him his 2 old gun cases and ran them concurrent as a convicted felon. He only got 1 time for the both of them. The things under the RICO, they dismissed against him, even though he pled guilty. He pled guilty to the RICO, but they didn't charge him with the RICO. Think about that. He pled guilty to the RICO. Yes, I am a rolling crip. Yes, I am in leadership. Yes, I distribute drugs. Yes, all my gun violence came as a result of in furtherance the gang by which I was told to do. That's all the RICO. They didn't charge him with none of it. They dismissed the RICO from him, even though he took the stand and pled guilty to it. Why would they do him that favor? Why would they do him that favor? He was the first to plead. He got the lightest sentence and made it harder for everybody else along the way. We're not going to play these games. Shame on y'all. Again. But if he a friend of yours, I get you don't supposed to do that to your friend. Look, you don't supposed to do that to your friend. You don't supposed to go public on him. You don't supposed to do that. You be more respectable saying, you know what, Surf, my man, I love him regardless to what. I'm going to stick by his side. That's it. That's what you do as a so-called real nigga. But when you try to say, if you know this paperwork, and you trying to say that he didn't snitch, and he didn't tell, and you're reading this paperwork, shame on you. You're a liar. You're a liar and a fraud. The hardest thing about being real is being real all the time, not some of the time, and not selective based upon who it is. It makes you a fraud. It makes you a fraud. But you're not going to get around that paperwork. See how y'all can get around that paperwork? Y'all opinion don't mean a damn thing. And everything y'all said, that paperwork proved y'all a lie. Surf did not take accountability for his own actions. All his actions was done in furtherance of the gang. I know this stuff. I've been in prison 10.5 years. I know how to read paperwork. Okay? My whole family is criminals. Federal indictments and state prisons. Paperwork is one thing we know. You don't see how we've been breaking down unbiased paperwork? This is simple. This light work. No such thing as taking accountability. He only said what he did. No. His actions are in furtherance of the gang. No such thing as what he did. All his actions mean we did. We did. That's what that means. So that hurt y'all. Y'all have no way out of this. What it does is expose y'all as being liars and frauds now at this point. That's what that does. There's no way out of this. Oh, his co-defendant spoke. That ain't what that paperwork said. We all agreed. Everybody know when you get an indictment like that, they separate y'all. They separate y'all. Y'all ain't really all communicating with each other so that y'all can plot and come up with things together. These people ain't stupid. They separate y'all. We ain't finna play these games. And all y'all phone calls is recorded. So ain't no, maybe they got around the phone. No matter what y'all do, that paperwork gonna put your back against the wall. Simple as that. Judgment will go as follows. I find Sue served guilty in the court of public opinion and also in the state of New Jersey and California. California got hit next. They already showed in the paperwork. These people tied to California. Notice they said they are trafficking drugs and guns state line. But what was the state line? They already said in the paperwork, California. Then they hit Big U now. Right. Now, with that being said, and you know Sir's been on record many times. The OG Big U. I talk to Big U. That's the brother. I know him personally. I go see him. You can see he know what's up. We talk all the time. Yeah, I know. And the feds got your phone. And the feds got y'all social media conversations. And guess what? They got y'all Big U in them conversations. Right. Judgment will go as follows. I find you guilty in the court of public opinion in the state of New Jersey and in the state of California. I sentence you to have your damn mouth stapled by a damn kindergarten. Let a kindergarten staple your damn mouth roughly for telling all the damn time. for pointing niggas out, let your damn hand be crushed. Let your damn hand be crushed. Slammed in a damn car door. Rolled over by a damn SUV. Let your damn tattoos be branded off your damn back. Replaced with Disney cartoon characters. Get, what's them damn girls' name? The Snow Girls. What's their damn name? Elsa and them. Get Elsa and them tatted on your damn back. Get Mother Goose on your damn shoulder. Get Daffy Duck above your damn throat where all the snitching began. All the snitching began under your damn throat. Get the Daffy Duck quacking under your damn throat. Get that done. That's my damn judgment. Here, take it. Bang the gavel on your damn self. Don't worry. I'm going to do it for you. No. Man, get out of here with that trash. He a snitch. Y'all can't get around that. And I got part 3. I got part 3 coming. Subscribe to Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours.